Personal injury can include situations from a traffic accident to a fall to an injury caused by a medical mistake. And every injury claim involves two basic questions. Was someone else responsible for your injuries, and how bad are you hurt? Maybe the insurance company has offered a check to settle up. So that all sounds like a good deal, right? Well, an experienced lawyer can tell you what your claim may really be worth. And personal injury attorney Rocky Wilkins from Morgan & Morgan is here to explain. So Rocky, I know a lot of people think it might be too expensive to talk to a lawyer, to hire a lawyer, but you're saying that's really not the case.
You know, I still get that. I've been doing this 20 plus years in Jackson. It doesn't cost anything to talk to us, and that's pretty across the board for all personal injury attorneys. So there's no reason not to go ahead and talk to a lawyer to make sure you know your rights, make sure you kind of know what you need to do and not do in your case. Certainly you don't want to post on social media. You don't want to do anything that's inconsistent with what your doctor said if you can help it. And since it's free, I would go ahead and do it and exercise my right to do that.
So let's go over those topics again. If you can't afford a lawyer, you can talk to you for free, is what you're saying.
That's right. And you know, I have numerous phone conversations, a lot of in-person conversations every week, every month. I've been doing this a long time, and I can't always help them, so I'll tell them up front. I'll say, look, I don't think I'm the right person for you, or sometimes people come in years and years after something happened, 5, 6, 7 years, and unfortunately I have to tell them I think the statute of limitations is run. But if I can help them, then I'll get them in the system and we'll start working up their case immediately. It just depends on the facts.
Now, what if someone does have a case and they are looking to win something? I mean, what does the percentage look like then too? Okay,
so the percentage varies, and in pretty much across the board, it's 33 to 35, sometimes 40, sometimes 45%. I've even heard of lawyers doing 50%, but here's what the Mississippi bar says. A legal fee has to be reasonable, but it doesn't define exactly what that is. And so, you know, I don't think you can normally take more than the client. I don't think that's a good practice. But as the case goes on, a lot of lawyers will tier their fee. So it goes 35% if there's no lawsuit, 40% if there's a lawsuit, and 45% if it goes up on appeal. But you got to think that's probably 2-3 years down the line, probably several hundred hours of work, and you're in it for the long haul. And remember, the attorney is paying the expenses. They're allowed to front the expenses as they go. So, you know, it's the only way that a lot of injured people that can't work or eat can afford or have an attorney.
So what happens if you don't win anything?
Well, I've had that happen too. Thankfully not that much, but if I don't get a recovery for you, you don't owe me anything. Oh. So I got to be pretty careful about the cases I choose. That's the result.
It certainly makes people want to hire you because then, you know, they'll have a good chance of getting something.
Well, I hope so.
Well, we do have some questions from our viewers. Somebody has sent in an email. We want to go ahead and see if you can answer this question.
I'll do my best.
For him. It says, my dad was in a wreck with a big truck on his way to work. He was hospitalized for a few weeks and is now in physical therapy. The other insurance company is offering some compensation, but it's not very much. So should we talk to a lawyer to handle it or try to negotiate ourselves? And this is from Mark. So thank you, Mark, for this question.
Well, I wouldn't do surgery on myself, and I wouldn't do a lot of things, you know, fix my electrical wires, and I certainly wouldn't handle my own lawsuit or case, even if I wasn't a lawyer. And so what I'd tell them is, you need to talk to a lawyer for the very reasons we just said. It doesn't cost anything. You need to know what your rights are. And here's the experience that I've had with people, because sometimes they do represent themselves, and they'll come to me years later and say, oh, well, Rocky, I saved a bunch of money. I didn't have to hire a lawyer. And I'm like, well, I'm glad you did that, but did you consider the UM coverage or this insurance coverage or this particular defendant or this theory? And they said, what are you talking about? And so you got to be careful, because you can actually outsmart yourself sometimes by not getting a lawyer. And the little bit of money you might save is probably not worth it in the end, because you may not be protecting all your avenues.
I certainly want to use all of your expertise in this.
Yes, a good personal injury attorney can certainly make sure that you check all the boxes.
Well, we have another question, and this one is on the phone. So let's go ahead and listen to this viewer's phone call.
Yes, my question is, if you've had a case and you actually went through all the legal procedures, you went through the courts and everything, and a month after you settle your case, your injuries became so almost like, you know, to the point you can't do anything. They have just shut you down. What do you do then?
I got some bad news for the caller, and I hate to say this, but you may be out of luck, because if you settled and you signed a release, that release is usually lawyer mumbo jumbo for any and all claims, known, unknown, future, past. I mean, it's releasing everything you have. And so before you sign on that dotted line, you better make sure that you and your attorney have talked about everything, that you've had a clearance from your doctor, that you've reached what's called maximum medical improvement, MMI, and that you're not going to have all these things pop up suddenly. Now, I'm not saying it's never happened, but you want to take out the risk of it, of having a latent injury, is what they call it, popping up after you settle, because once you settle, you're probably going to be out of luck.
All right, well, we just got a few seconds left, so tell everybody how they can get in touch with you.
Well, I'm at Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. You can certainly call me at 601-503-1654. That's my direct line. Call me anytime or email me at rocky@forthepeople.com.
All right, thank you, Rocky, for joining us
Thank
today.
you. Good to see you.